Hi everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. We are thrilled to have you all joining us. In today's session, we're going to focus on why it's imperative for marketers and agencies to gain better insights about their brands. We're going to take you through some of the barriers to gaining these insights and how we can help get the intelligence needed in today's business market. Here's the three main things we're going to cover today. Practical knowledge on the challenges marketers and agencies face in getting critical information on their brands. Education in the way online communities, such as our Fuel product, can help meet these challenges. And of course, we wouldn't leave you without sharing best practices to keep your online communities healthy and providing a constant stream of rich insights. This webinar will run for about 30 to 40 minutes, at which point we will turn it over to Q&A. So please submit any questions you may have into the box as we go along, and we will answer as many as we can at the end. So first, who is Passenger? Simply put, we provide the platform and strategic guidance to help you build relationships with your key stakeholders. Last year, we proudly debuted our new state-of-the-art Fuel platform designed to give you the tools to uncover insights, foster innovation, and inspire advocacy. Here's a little bit about who I am, Sarah Sandberg, as your moderator. I'm responsible for our client services department here at Passenger, and if you decide to work with us, which we hope you do, our paths will undoubtedly cross. I spent my career in market research and social media marketing, and at Passenger, I've found a true home in online communities. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our host and my esteemed colleague, Rick Kelly. With a passion for market research, thought leadership, and technology, Rick has spent his career developing insights, teaching, working at startups, and writing white papers when he can find the time. Without further ado, I am now going to turn it over to Rick Kelly. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I'm excited to be presenting today and excited to share some of our best practices and thoughts with you around online community. So just to start off and kind of set the stage for what we'll be talking about today, we'll be talking about using online communities to gain data and make better brands. We're going to start off by talking about some of the challenges that many brands are facing today, and then more generally how online communities can help, and then we'll talk specifically about how Fuel, our online community platform, can help marketers and brands. And then we'll talk about why DIY, so why do we offer a do-it-yourself solution, and we'll talk about some of the best practices for success in online communities, and wrap it up from there. Okay, so to get started, let's set up the situation a little bit. We're facing a dynamic market that's evolving very rapidly. We're going to discuss some of the challenges that brands are facing and how Fuel helps those. So for a long time, brands and companies enjoyed a very high degree of brand loyalty. However, this has shifted into a new normal. So where we're at today is that the market's incredibly dynamic, and consumers and customers are able to access more information than they've ever had before. In fact, when we look at the shift in brand loyalty over time, a recent PricewaterhouseCoopers study found that 80% of consumers are looking at online reviews before making major purchases. Consider, frame that against what it was like 20 years ago when they weren't able to do that. In addition, 25% of Americans in another study said that brand loyal, or only 25% of respondents said that brand loyalty affects how they shop. And this is even more pronounced amongst millennial audiences. In fact, a Wall Street Journal study reports that 80% of millennials are looking for the lowest price possible, and that up to 60% are going to bypass their favorite brand if a cheaper alternative is available. Okay, so obviously the market has shifted a fair amount. And we look at innovation and the need to innovate as well. So for a long time, brand loyalty meant that customers always stayed loyal no matter the product. In my family, we always had a saying while I was growing up where it's, our family always buys Ford, right? So a high degree of brand loyalty. But consumers had less information back then and fewer brands to choose from. In fact, the average life expectancy of a brand in the S&P 500 was 75 years ago in 1957. However, the advent of the internet, rapid product development cycles, and increased marketing means that consumers are less loyal today. In fact, the average tenure of a company in the S&P 500 now is just 15 years. Okay, so the brand loyalty that companies once enjoyed, they no longer enjoy, and the market has become incredibly dynamic. So brands need to innovate more to maintain their customers. Each product has to stand on its own. And so the key to doing this and to successfully innovating is to bring your customer into the innovation process and co-create with them. And so communities can help fill that role. When we look at the problems facing marketers, right? So we can ask the question, how well do you know your customer? And what don't you know? And the truth is there's a lot we don't know about our customers. And marketers need an easy earpiece or an easy way to tap into what their customers want and need. But unfortunately, for a long time, they haven't had a way to do this. And so we look at what's changing in the market, right? So as a result of all these changes, many marketers, in fact, 74% in a recent study, said that they're going to increase their budget for better consumer data and buying technology to fill that gap. And so Fuel, our platform, our community platform, gives marketers unprecedented power right at their fingertips with a solution that's easily deployed to engage with your key customers and your key stakeholders in order to garner more insights and to co-create and co-innovate with them. And many agencies, marketing and advertising agencies, face the same problem. So for a long time, marketers and advertisers have relied on consumer insights in order to inform their campaigns. Well, with the increased number of campaigns that are rolling out, the agile and iterative way that campaigns are rolling out, it turns out that agencies also need more data, but more efficiently and much faster than ever before. And so Fuel enables marketers and agencies to gain that information in a faster way than they've ever had. So if we sum up the situation here, the situation is that today there are numerous structural shifts to the way that customers and consumers are interacting with their brands today. Brand loyalty is generally declining, and advertising is increasing. And you think about your customer, they're likely bombarded with an overwhelming wealth of information on competing products or different products that could replace yours. And as a result, brands, including marketers, advertisers, researchers, need a source to go to for increased data and insights. And communities, online research communities, fill that role. So how do you tap into that? Well, you need a private, secure environment for your customers to gather. And then you can introduce speed, agility, and co-collaboration to gather insights from your customers. And so that brings us to Fuel. And Fuel is our online community platform, and it changes the way that you engage with your audience. So it allows clients to run robust advocacy, discovery, and innovation projects all within a single platform. And it's fully responsive and native to desktop and mobile devices, which increases engagement and keeps people coming back to the community. In fact, researchers and marketers and agencies are using Fuel for multiple different use cases. And they're using the research tools within Fuel for a lot of different methodologies. For instance, they're looking at segmentation, product ratings, longitudinal data exports, automated reporting, choice exercises, crosstabs, ethnographies, and heat maps, and IDIs. All these are available within Fuel today. And so it's an incredibly powerful and robust tool that allows marketers to get the data that they need. So about 4 months ago, Forrester released a report indicating that there are generally 3 common types of relationships between community vendors and clients. So full service, hybrid, and DIY, or a do-it-yourself model. And DIY programs are almost entirely self-managed. And you see a lot of interest in communities. Some recent research from the American Marketing Association using Green Book has indicated that many marketers and market researchers are considering online communities and looking for a service model that fits one of these. So we kept hearing from our clients that they wanted to have the option of running community on their own. So we listened to them, and we developed Fuel to provide DIY capabilities to our clients. Now, Fuel was developed over a long process of co-creation with existing clients. So we tried to practice what we preach, and we came up with 6 things that we felt Fuel should do and can do well. So 1, it enables agile marketing. So it allows you to respond quickly to shifts in the marketplace or internal project requests. It's extremely cost effective, so you can run multiple types of research with your core customers in one platform. Think about all the ethnographies and IDIs and choice exercises that can all be run using a single tool. Third, it's fast, so you get real-time results and quick access to your community. Fourth, it's very easy to use. So, like I mentioned before, Fuel was co-created with our current clients and balances very robust capabilities with a fairly easy to use interface. And of course, it's always on and always available to anyone, anywhere. And then, obviously, and one of the most important benefits is that it transfers power to your hands. We recognize that marketers and brands and agencies are often the expert on their customers. So we give you the power to capture incredibly robust insights in a way that hasn't been done quite this way before. Okay, so if we think about how to make your community successful, obviously there's a number of things you need to do, but caring for your community and taking care of your community members is an essential part of that. And so briefly, if you think about your car or any large appliance that you have, a little care and maintenance goes a long way and enables your car, your appliance to last a long time. Well, it's the same way with communities. With some basic care and some basic tuning, online communities can be very successful for a long time. And so the practices that we present here are components of regular community maintenance and are going to serve community managers in any industry or organization well. So the 3 practices we suggest here are by no means comprehensive. There's a dozen things that you could be doing as well, but the 3 things that are maybe a little less obvious that will help you maintain a high-quality community. The first practice is to ask your community. Second is to engage your community. And finally, we suggest that you advertise your community. And we'll walk you through a few examples and share some information here. Okay, so our first suggestion, ask your community. So marketers and researchers have used online communities for many, many different research projects, including product development, IDIs, customer experience, advertising, and more. So it surprises us sometimes when some community managers have never asked their members what they hope to gain from the community experience. So we recommend semi-regular formal check-ins with the community to see if community members are satisfied with their experience. Internal research at Passenger demonstrates that satisfaction with the community is actually a leading indicator for community vibrancy. So if members are satisfied with their community experience overall, they're much more likely to respond to survey invites and stay in the community longer. And a quick example for one of our clients, a major automotive manufacturer. So in September of last year, they decided to check in with their community members to see how community members felt about the community overall. And so our community manager was able to quickly program a survey and link it together with a discussion board and post it, all within a matter of a few minutes. And the community manager and our client were able to see member survey results next to their comments in the discussion and get feedback in real time. So overall, member sentiment indicated that they were generally pleased with the content in the community, but that they had hoped to discuss new products more frequently. Okay, so as a result of this feedback, the community manager and her internal team were able to go back and to calendar out regular discussions and engaging forums for members to discuss new products and technologies in the automotive space. And we could see that members thoroughly enjoyed these discussions and they participated frequently. So what was the result of doing that? Well, in September of last year, active members logged in an average of 3 times per month to participate in the community. And after using the member feedback to make adjustments and open up the forums to discuss new technology and new products, within 3 months, active members were logging in an average of 6 times per month. So the simple check-in with community members gave the community manager a lot of valuable insight and information to generally tune up the content of the community. And so the community, the team was able to increase the intrinsic value of the community and extend member retention rate and increase the community vibrancy. So regularly seeking feedback from your community members will enable you to understand and meet your community member needs. The second practice we suggest is to engage your community and really focus on engagement. So the reasons members and people join online communities are multivariate and they change from person to person. So one person may enjoy exclusive access to new products or videos. Another person may want to provide feedback on a new product. And other people may just look for an opportunity to interact socially with each other online or are looking for an opportunity to earn rewards in the community. So generally we can break down people's motivations for participating in community into 3 categories. These 3 categories are number 1, brand, number 2, community, and 3, personal. So what do we mean by that? So brand means that the community member wants to influence the brand or be in the know. When it comes to community, the community member hopes to make personal connections with others in the community and both receive and give assistance. And then personal, the community member is able to self-express, share their opinion, maybe they earn an incentive, and they're recognized for their participation. So in most cases, community members participate for a combination of these reasons. It's usually not just one. There's usually a multivariate reason for them to participate. But the takeaway for community managers is that they should not rely solely on one of these 3 motivational categories to encourage members to participate in the community. So Fuel was built to enable all 3 types of motivation. So it simultaneously supports rich media, custom branding, interpersonal connections between community members, and also has a very powerful gamification program to provide incentives and rewards and recognition to members. So as a result, community managers are able to encourage their members to participate regardless of the motivation for participating. So another quick example here. So a community manager at one of our clients in the media space took over a community from a colleague and found that the community had been, unfortunately, slightly neglected. Generally, response rates were low and the community didn't reflect corporate branding. One of the additional challenges here was that the community's target demographic are millennials. And as many of you know, millennials are a notoriously difficult group to engage in research or just about anything else. And so the community manager had a big challenge, and he quickly went to work to re-engage the community. So how did he do this? Well, one, he began loading video produced by the brand and inviting members to comment on it. Tested new logos in the community and was able to find one that felt on brand and belonged in the community. He introduced things like animated GIFs, so rich media, into the community, and used the image-centric homepage within Fuel to include lots of photos that community members found fun and humorous. He also introduced a very easy to understand and straightforward rewards program and began awarding members points for participating in research activities. Also, this community manager turned on a module in the community that allows members to create their own discussion topics. And members were very excited about this and began posting about topics that they were interested in. So it was in a media space, but they started posting about a number of different ideas. And the topics were fairly diverse. Members shared fan theories for their favorite shows, asked about new products, and in fact, they were even giving each other travel advice. So within a few weeks, the community's vibrancy was restored, and members with varied motivations for participating were equally pleased and satisfied with the community. People were able to influence the brand, view a lot of media. They had an actual community to come into, and they had their personal rewards as well. And so the net effect of this was that over the past 10 months is that the participation rate in this community has more than doubled, and the number of member-submitted posts per month has increased by 33%. So what Fuel does is it enables community managers in any industry to engage with members across multiple modes of motivation, so brand, community, and personal. And so we suggest when you are running a community that you seek and find out ways to engage with these people in your community across multiple motivational categories. So our third suggestion comes somewhat outside the community. It's that you advertise your community. So this is the practice of engaging with your key stakeholders and internal clients to educate them on the community. And communities are very important tools to many organizations. Many are becoming increasingly more important, and maintaining their visibility will ensure people throughout your organization are able to see the value of the community. So fortunately, sharing results and projects with your stakeholders and team members is fairly easy. So community managers can share real-time survey results with a survey link. You can give your internal clients read-only access so that they're able to log in the community and watch discussion boards and focus groups and in-depth interviews play out in real time. So this is a very valuable way to socialize your community. And some other community managers also share monthly newsletters with their clients and business partners that quickly highlight key projects, results, and community health. So we know that change happens pretty quickly in the modern business environment. In fact, that's one of the themes we've been talking about today, is that people are less loyal and there's changes and everything. And so when a manufacturer of consumer products faced a downturn in their business, the marketing department was asked to find ways to cut low ROI programs and whose value was not obvious. So they quickly began analyzing the tools and programs they were using for research. Now, fortunately, in this case, the community manager and our client have been sharing results frequently with her internal stakeholders. She was demoing the community frequently. She was giving read-only access to colleagues so that they could log in and almost whenever they wanted to watch watch research projects unfold. And she also shared key successes and projects from the community in a brief newsletter to her department. So when it came time to analyze the value of the community, senior executives were really enthusiastic about keeping the community. These executives were incredibly impressed with the flexibility of Fuel. It enabled them to run many different types of projects all within one platform. So, within the last couple months, this particular organization had run an innovation project, sought feedback on marketing material, so copy testing, and conducted a series of focus groups to improve the customer experience. So it's kind of easy to see why why the executive team was so enthusiastic about their community. They were able to run a lot of frequent, cost-efficient research, and the community manager was able to share real-time results with her colleagues and team members. Okay, to summarize what we've talked about so far are three best practices. One is that we suggest that you ask your community, seek their feedback and try to understand their needs. The second is that you engage with your community. So provide multiple modes of engagement for your community members and keep their interests in mind. And the third is to advertise your community. Share the value and run lots of projects within the community. So generally speaking, when it comes to the bottom line benefits within Fuel. So Fuel communities at any service level are a phenomenal way to garner insights. Whether you're running it in a DIY fashion or we're working with you in a hybrid or full service solution, ultimately you and your clients realize many benefits. The four key benefits that we can see here are one, power is transferred to your hands. So you have the ability to do everything and engage with your customers very quickly and easily. It's very fast, so you have real-time, fast and responsive results. And extremely cost-efficient. As we've discussed before, you're able to run various projects in there. So whether it's a robust choice exercise, a customer experience survey, a focus group, an IDI, a diary study, all of these things combined within one platform. And then, of course, it's highly flexible. So you need to have the agility to respond to requests and market shifts very quickly. And Fuel gives you all four of these things. So with that, I think that's the sum of our presentation today. And I think we're ready to open up for questions.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, we are open for questions, and we have had a few come pouring in. If you have a question that you haven't submitted yet, please do so now, and we'll do our best to answer those. All right, Rick, you ready for the first one?
Sure.
Okay, so this is about tracking engagement and performance. They want to know how we can track those elements in our Fuel platform.
Sounds great. So we've actually baked in, first of all, this is a great question. I like this question a lot. We've actually baked in some business intelligence reports in the back end of our platform using a BI tool called Tableau. And what that enables us to do is to produce real-time results on community demographics and content performance and engagement within the community. So, hypothetically, you can be tracking, the average number of logins in the community and see what type of content is encouraging people to come back and how your survey response rate is tracking over time. So our goal is to give you the tools to do that and to support you along the way. So, yeah, very good question.
All right, Rick, this next one I know is near and dear to your heart, and it is, how essential are cash or paid incentives to maintain participation in a community, especially with consumers?
That is a great question, and whoever asked that question, you should take down my email address, and we'll talk later as well. But essentially, many people have different motivations for participating in communities. And motivations for participating depends somewhat on the industry and whether it's a B2B or a B2C community. And so there is some variance. Overall, we see that communities that provide incentives to the community members have much longer member tenure in the community and see much higher engagement and overall participation in the community. We don't suggest that financial incentives are the only way to engage with your community, but for many successful communities, they're a component of it.
Incentives work, right? That's what we know.
That's what incentives work.
Okay, the next one for you is about the length of time that communities should run. Minimum, maximum, and mid-level amount of time that a community should be live for.
Yeah, and that's another good question. So, one of the things that I hope our audience walks away with today is that they've seen that communities are flexible, and that's one of the values of communities. They can do lots of different things, and so at Passenger, we've run communities that are as short as a week, and many that have run for several years, so 3+ years. And I think that really speaks to the value community. They have different goals. If you're looking for a short kind of one-hit project that's very engaging for respondents and community members, then a short-term community might be the best case. But other people, other clients of ours are transferring large portions of their research to the community and plan on running them for many, many years.
Thanks, Rick. Okay, the next one is about training for do-it-yourself. They want to know, how much training do we get, and is there consultation that happens along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recognize that our clients, our success is dependent upon our client's success. And so ultimately, what we want to do is to make our clients very successful. And so we do provide a lot of training. Before community launch, we have a set of 3 training modules that help people get familiar with the functional aspects of the community. And then also we provide passengers best practices and an in-depth look at keeping a community engaged and healthy over the long run. And of course, ongoing, we are always happy to provide insight onto brands, communities, provide one-on-one consulting, and white papers that help you understand how to keep your community motivated.
Okay, and then I also have one about industries. They want to know what specific industries communities are usually good for.
That is a good question as well. So, I think, again, we go back to the flexibility question. We designed Fuel to be flexible and to meet a lot of diverse needs. And so we see successful communities across a variety of industries. And of course, maybe some of the motivational categories that we talked about earlier change on an industry by industry or brand by brand basis. But we have seen successful communities, in CPG, in media, and even in finance and B2B targets. And so we know, we've had several years of experience that help us understand, how each community or each industry is unique. And fortunately, Fuel provides a lot of flexibility that allows us to meet diverse needs.
Okay, I know we'd have just a little bit more time, but here's another one for you. It wants to know, what type of support do we at Passenger provide to foster engagement, which, as we know, is critical to the health of a community?
Yeah, and I think that goes back to a lot of our, the software elements that we've baked in. So gamification and incentives are all, baked in and included within the platform. And then also those engagement metrics that help help our clients measure engagement in real time with the community, and so these data-driven insights that we can gain in real time, they allow us to inform community strategy. And so each of our clients is supported by an account manager and a community manager that allows them to, have kind of one-on-one consultations about best practices for engagement within the community. And that, that's something that we've always provided for our clients, and we'll continue to support them with going forward.
All right. I think that we are about out of time. Thank you so much, Rick, for taking us through the webinar today and taking the time to answer these questions at the end. It's been really helpful. For everyone who's attending, we're going to be emailing a recorded version of the presentation to you, so you can keep an eye out for that. And both my and Rick's information is up on the screen, so if you have any further questions or want to get a hold of us, please feel free to do so. We'll leave that up for a few minutes after the webinar ends. Thank you again, Rick, and you guys have been a fantastic audience, and we thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you.